All right, my demons. Welcome back. We are on Friday night, kicking off your weekend with the big bad devil daddy himself. And we're going to be highlighting some of the up and coming scream queens. I can never say that fluidly to where it makes sense. So forgive me. But anyways, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to share this out anywhere and everywhere. Any fan of horror would be want to become an actress or an actor, because we're going to be looking at some of the, like I said, in the world of indie horror, some up and coming scream queens. So definitely get that shared out because tonight we have the great up and coming actress herself, Sammy Morningstar. And hello. And I appreciate everybody that's coming in right now. So if you didn't hear it before, share it out. But before we get into her career here, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our brothers at Villain Arts Tattoos. Check it out. That's right. You hear me fucking say this every single week, every show. Villain Arts Tattoos, the biggest, baddest tattoo convention in the United States, the world. If they come to your town, you need to get there, get yourself a high quality tattoo. Check out all the amazing performers and vendors that are there. And as you probably well know, I show up there a lot. So if you want to get some intimate time with Reaper here, definitely stay tuned, as I will be showing up at a few more throughout the year. All right, here we are. What's up, Cody? Good to see you, brother. And everybody else that is filing in. Love that shit. All right, we are here with actress Sammy Morningstar. All righty, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. I'm nervous but excited. So
no, I was going to say, welcome to Reaper's world. It's a little different. We're all strange and unusual here.
Well, I should fit in then.
Absolutely. So let's just get right down to it. You got a lot of projects coming up. You know, I don't know, something about this time of year. It's like filmmakers are just like boom, 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 project after project. But that's good for us because that keeps us busy, right?
Yeah. Yep. And it's my birthday month too. So.
Oh shit! As a matter of fact, my oldest son's birthday is actually today. So that's cool.
Happy birthday!
Awesome. Yep. Wherever he is, he's like on the other side of the U.S. So, but yeah, let's get right down to it. So, when did you kind of fall in love with horror films?
Oh God, I looked horror since I was a kid, like as long as I can remember. My grandma actually is the one that got me into it.
See, I just love that shit. Because every time I ask that question, every actor actress always says, it started when I was like really young, and I had a family member that showed me something, and I'm just like, that's so awesome because it constantly gets every generation interested in the spooky world.
Yeah.
And how much fun it is, and that you don't necessarily have to be afraid of it. So, what was your grandma? What was the first film she showed you?
The first one she showed me was Child's Play. She was
Ah,
and
the
is
world of Chucky.
obsessed. Yeah, so I used to live with her when I was little,
Hmm.
and she had the Chucky doll and the Bride of Chucky doll in a glass box above our bed. It always freaked me out. I don't know why, but I would sleep with a clothes hanger, thinking that if he came after me, I could beat him away with a clothes hanger.
Oh my goodness, that kind of reminds me of back. Well, I mean, way back because I'm a little bit old. Uh, Not really, but still. That after I had seen Halloween for the first time, 1978, um, that I used to think that I could just see his mask in the darkness, which is where the nightlight first started to come into play. uh, because there were so many scenes in that film where he's in the darkness. You think he's there, he might be there, and then all of a sudden, just the glow, slightest glow of the mask shows. That used to scare the shit out of me. But he's
Yeah.
also my favorite. So
My
that's so
uncle
cool.
actually popped up behind. I had a glass wall,
Hmm.
and he popped up behind it with a scream mask one night, scared the shit out of me.
Oh my goodness.
He's one that would put real knives in the Chucky dolls, like his little bibs and everything. So he was out to taunt me from the get
Oh,
go.
okay. Well, that
And
sounds like fun to me. That sounds like a weekend.
it's fun
Especially
now.
being a kid.
Yeah,
How cool. And that always kills me too, because, I've had many people come up to me and go, Ghostface really isn't that scary. We know it's a guy just wearing a mask, but, you know, think about it though. If you like really put yourself into a few of those, those first films, and especially the fact that they're getting even more gruesome now, I think he's becoming more scary now than he was back in the 90s. But
yeah,
iconic,
yeah.
very cool. So that kind of led you into more horror. So what was some of the other things that was, you were starting to get into?
Um, it was mostly just I don't know why I just always loved horror movies. Always wanted to act in one. I just never thought I'd be able to. And I've always loved Halloween. Just anything spooky like ghosts and skulls and bats. Just the cliche stuff. Everybody always called me a gothic
Absolutely.
hippie because I loved everything scary, spooky, but I'm also obsessed with animals and trees. So
I think that all kind of ties in together.
yeah,
Most gothic people are into like more earthly beliefs anyway. So I think that horror and of course, metal
oh
all
yes,
kind of, is in one big happy dysfunctional family. And it's
yeah,
the best place to be.
oh yes.
Hey
I love my
Kyler,
metal
what's up,
music
brother?
too.
Uh, he says, "Hello, my friends. You both look great."
I like the
Just as a
Slipknot shirt.
reminder, what's that?
Slipknot.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's one of Kyler's favorites, actually. I was going to say, definitely don't forget, guys, out in the comment section there. Don't be afraid to ask her questions. That's why she's here. All righty. Austin says, technically, two or more guys in a mask. And that's true. You never know who exactly is the killer. I just think that makes it fun a
Yes.
little bit. And then Kyler says, Skulls, you say. You have my undivided attention.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with them.
Nice. Nothing wrong with that. I have quite a few hanging around my place as well. Um,
I keep them
yeah,
on my bedstand.
oh, well, what's wrong with that? Austin says, we all love Slipknot, though, for sure. Absolutely. Except for what they're becoming. Go
More
back to those
modern.
first couple of records, please. I would appreciate
Yeah.
that shit.
I went to my
Anyway,
first Slipknot concert, and I was so upset with the mosh pit they had. I'm like, "What is that? It's nothing.
you've never seen a
What
mosh
is
pit
that?"
before that?
It wasn't a good one. It was a pathetic one,
Oh,
and it was my
was it
first
one
time
of
going to one of
those?
their concerts, so
Gotcha. So it must have been one of those where people were specifically trying to hurt folks.
there was like a they weren't even really fighting each other. I want to see somebody angry and like ramming into each other. It looked like they were dancing in a little circle.
Ugh, ugh. Throwing
Yeah,
elbows and shit. Yeah,
yeah,
I feel that. Uh, you'd probably get that more, I think, at a Cannibal Corpse show uh,
yeah. Touche.
versus Slipknot, because once you become hot topic status, I think the crowds get a little lighter. Just saying.
Touche.
Oh my goodness. Cody says second stone sour. Oh boy. All righty. Any hoozle. So, what were some of the other films that really kind of like influenced you? Did you always kind of, be that person who was always trying to be not necessarily in the spotlight, but you definitely knew you were a performer?
No, it was actually always pretty much the opposite. I was
Oh,
always
okay.
hiding in the back. So, but when I was at home, I always pretended that I was going to be in one of the horror movies. And then when I got around people, I'm like, I can't handle all this. So
Oh
it's actually a
man.
fluke how I got started with everything. Like, huge fluke.
Anything like in school? Did you ever do like band or choir
Did
or
do
something
band.
like that?
I was a band geek for a long time. I got medals, trophies. I love band. I was in concert,
Nice.
jazz, marching, everything you could think of.
Oh yeah, I did all that. I was the head snare drummer of the marching band. Yep, I said it out there in Morgrot Universe. I was that guy. But I was cool. But that was back when I had hair, so that's a completely different story.
And I did not. I shaved all my hair, so
Did you really? Oh my
I
goodness. All
did
right.
for a bet.
Hey.
Shaved it all off.
Well, now I do it every day. Well, the top, however, I nothing ever grows there anymore. It's like a desolate abyss, but that's okay.
I tried drums. I wasn't very good at it. So I had a 7-piece double bass root beer swirl set.
Wow. All
I
right.
played Twinkle Little Star in it. That was it. That's all I got.
Right on. Just like I was telling you, prior to broadcast that, I've been a professional drummer for too many years, but I still love it. It's a passion. So that was kind of like a gateway for me to be able to step out. I mean, it's still a comfort zone because, being in a band, you're in the back, you're not in the front. So when you're on camera, that's a whole different thing. So, what was it like for you stepping out into being in front of the camera?
It was pretty nerve wracking. Like my first experience, excuse me, my first experience was cool because I was an extra, so I was kind of behind the scenes on stuff. And that
Gotcha.
was a movie called Effed, which I cannot wait for that to come out. I am so stoked. But it just has little small scenes in that. Yeah, that's actually me. It was so
Oh,
fun.
nice.
So it's funny how I actually got started with it. My boss, where I work now, knows that I love spooky stuff because I decorate my cubicle with skeletons. But
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm kind of weird. But so
That's not weird.
he's into horror movies as well. So somebody had sent him Ash Hamilton's like a newsletter looking for some extras for a movie in Jacksonville, which isn't far from where I'm at. So he sent it to me. My boss did, knowing that I might be interested.
Hmm.
And I messaged him and we talked a little bit. I showed up just to help behind the scenes and ended up getting a couple of small roles, at like little extra roles. So that
Yeah,
it was such an incredible experience. After that, I had to get more.
sure. Absolutely. It almost becomes addicting.
It
you know,
is.
It's
And I
like
haven't had
tattoos. You can
anything
never
for a little
just have
while. So
one.
it's yeah, I got a few. So do you, obviously.
Oh,
Actually, I
you
just went
know,
to Will and Arts Tattoo Convention and got a new one.
in Chicago?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny that we have that
That's
commercial.
hilarious.
So,
I was just there.
yep, I saw Kelsey. So,
Oh, okay. Yep.
oh, world,
Uh,
man.
that was a good. Small as small gets. Most people don't realize that. Yeah. Shoot, that was just such an unforgettable, amazing weekend. Because I actually got to jump from not just the Villain Arts. I was Villain Arts for 3 days, but I was able to go over to Days of the Dead across the street. That was a
Me
fucking
too.
blast. Like
Oh, it was
you know,
amazing.
it still amazes me to this day that I'm like anyone even knew who the fuck I was when I went into Days of the Dead, because most people know me from the Villain Arts. So that's cool. Well, hopefully the tattoo experience was good.
Yeah, and Days of the Dead was so fun. I got a ghost face backpack.
Oh, did you?
But, and then I got to see Anne, which was so cool because she's on Night of the Dead Sorority Babes. And I got to see our poster at the booth. So that was extra exciting. I can't believe my name's on a poster.
And we're back. Awesome. Sweet. I don't know if that was me or you. All I know is I saw the
Yeah.
white circle of death and I was like, oh, shit. Happens sometimes, people. Technology is not as good as it says that it is. But yeah, it was great seeing Ann there. I got to meet Doug Bradley and the actor for the movie The Frogman, which was really kind of interesting. Yeah, for what's it called? Screambox, the horror app. Yeah, he was a really cool dude, and it turned out we knew somebody in common. So I was like, all right, that's cool. Now I'm gonna have to watch your movie. For sure.
That's what I love about indie horror because everything's so connected and the connections are crazy.
For sure. And Richard Bergen was there, the guy who made Fang, which is actually on my list of things to watch. So if you're watching right now, man, I'm gonna watch it. I promise. We're gonna get there.
After you watch Split Screen, you gotta watch Split Screen.
For sure. Oh, SJ, what's going on? He says, sucked I had to miss Days of the Dead. Oh, and I miss seeing you too, brother, man. Most definitely. But I believe you'll be catching up with Sammy here shortly, which we'll talk about that later. Oh, here we go. Kyler says, do you have a favorite horror icon? Some of my favorites are Jason, Freddy, and the Xenomorph.
That's a tough decision.
Always is.
I think I'm gonna go with Jason because Freddy's a little wimp and has to get you in your sleep.
Right.
I don't know. I love Michael Myers too, and if I remember correctly, he has #1 amount of kills. I think it's Michael Myers.
I will have to
also like
fact check
Leatherface
that because
well.
I'm actually not sure. Because
I went down a rabbit
Jason,
hole trying to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll have to double check that and see if that's in fact true. But I definitely don't rule it out, especially how many films there have been. And then if you count the body count in the Blumhouse productions, holy shitballs. Between that and the Rob Zombie franchise. You know what I mean? So you just might be right. Absolutely. Let's see.
So probably Jason.
Right
the shark.
Yep. And that's one thing, SJ, that is an argument for the ages. So many people say that Jaws was not a horror film.
I don't count it.
Tomato. It's like the old Crow versus the new Crow. It's one of those arguments that will probably go on forever. Yeah. So did you ever do any acting prior to getting into films?
No, besides just being a drama queen myself, I never did that.
Life is not without its
grandma,
drama.
but that's about it.
Was there any female actresses that you ever really in horror that you identified with?
Surprisingly, no. I can't say there was. I like mostly the masked killers.
Now, see, there's no better answer than that. I always
So,
rooted for the bad guy. I never
yeah,
truly cared one way or the other. If well, I can't say that.
I
There
just
has been a few
like seeing
movies,
how people died. So,
right? Um, it's like, yeah, get her, or him,
yeah,
and but there's been a few horror films that I can honestly say, wow, this guy or girl has been through so much. How the hell is this going to turn out? I used to feel that
yeah.
way watching, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like, holy
That's
shit balls,
that's what I was gonna
this
say. Yep.
person has
I'm like,
gone through hell. How do they
somebody
get
has
out of
to
it?
survive.
Well, it's not even so much that. I just wonder, like, the aftermath. Like, if have you ever seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I just saw it this past year.
Oh, nice. So when the girl is in the back of the truck, because she hopped into the back of the bed of a truck, and she's just giggling like insanely, and I'm like, oh, she ain't ever gonna be right again, you know. Uh,
Yep.
so it's like, wait, here we go. Oh, I got so many comments here. I'm so sorry. Austin says, I mean, people are afraid of sharks, but does that make it a horror film? See, like I
That's the
said,
million
one of
dollar
those
question.
arguments that will literally go on forever.
Yeah. What is your ideal of horror?
Everyone's is different.
Yeah. Mine,
Really,
I feel like
really.
it has to be a slasher.
That's what necessarily makes it fun for me is slashers and creatures.
Yeah.
Because I've always been a huge zombie fan, vampire fan, werewolf fan, mummy, all of the classic universal horror type creatures. And then, you start to get into the demonic stuff, like Wishmaster or, any of the possession films. I just call it possession films
Yeah.
because, you know, anything
Oh,
involving
yeah.
demons, devils, the whole nine yards. I fucking love it. And there's two
Yes.
that are out right now that I'm really interested
What's your of those?
in. Shoot. The first Omen, and the other one is called Immaculate. And as far as I know, Immaculate just came out. So that's on my radar. But let's see here. Kyler says one of the creepiest masks ever is the Hills Run Red baby face. Ooh, yeah. I know exactly what you're
Forgot
talking
about
about, buddy.
that.
Oh, there's so many different movies to catch up on over the last
Yeah.
50 years. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, wow, this is like actually a true testament, I think, to especially indie horror. It seems like, I don't know if you feel this way, but indie horror is, they recognize talent and are not afraid to put somebody in a role, versus like Hollywood that's looking for, this big ass resume and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you obviously found the process probably a little bit easier than most.
Yep.
Because did you have any roles that kind of spawned off that first extra film that you did?
Yeah. So for Split Screen, it was actually my first speaking line, and I got the main lead for it. So no acting experience besides being an extra. It was insane. I couldn't believe it.
Kind of take us through that a little bit, if you will, what that was like. Because you've
Oh
never
God.
done any speaking before. Because I got a role coming up myself. That finally, it's like, yeah, you get to hear my best, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, obvious. Did
It
you have to do
was.
like a bunch of takes, or?
So Josh, if you're watching this, I had several bloopers, and they put my main blooper in the beginning of the movie. It's so bad.
What?
It's
I have never
embarrassing.
seen a blooper at the beginning of a film before.
It's
Oh,
I
you
swear to
got to
God, it's
tell
at the
us a little
beginning.
something.
And so I was so nervous. And so I asked them to hide behind the tree when we were filming outside because I didn't want anybody looking at me. Uh, it was it's so bad. Like, well, we kind of have to see you with the camera, but I'm like, nope, nope, we gotta go behind it. So I walk over by this lake and I walk into a swarm of gnats. So I'm like batting my face, and that's the first clip you see on my darn movie. It's me like, hello. So embarrassing, but
Howdy ho.
so when I prep, I'm like the hugest procrastinator. So I waited until a few days beforehand to start learning my lines,
Mm.
and I had the main lead of the movie. So I was like, I had my headphones in at work because I work in the office, and I was just rehearsing with myself. And then I had a few people like send me lines, and it was a lot to memorize. But once we got there, like half of it went out of my brain. So we kind of had to just go with it.
Sure.
So that's what I like about a small crew because it's less intimidating, and they really work with me.
Oh, well, that's cool because I mean, I've heard tales of all different types.
Yeah.
You
For the
know,
most part, we didn't have to do too many takes until like one of our final scenes. Took me a few times, but I can't tell you what that involves because that's a spoiler. But it's stuff's harder than it looks. I thought I was a
see,
good actor in real life, like getting my brother in trouble and putting on the waterworks to get out of things, but it's hard when there's a camera in your face.
yeah, you're kind of like stationary at that point. There's no escape. You know, it's
People
like
can
your
be
worst
mean on the
nightmare.
internet.
Right.
I'm one of those, like,
Oh,
I'll
trust
read
me.
all the comments, and I had to stop that. Most people are nice, but there's a couple that, like, who pissed in your Cheerios?
Oh no, here at the Underground, everybody is a huge horror fan. Um, and you won't get anything like that here. That's for damn sure.
It's been an
Um,
amazing experience so far.
I see my Dark Queen is lurking this evening.
Hi.
So she says hi. Oh, this is interesting. Kyler said, I met Andrew Divoff, aka the Jinn from Wishmaster. Such a nice guy. He did my favorite quote for me. Oh, well, that's
That's
cool.
cool.
Did you have to pay for it? That's something we'll talk about also. Um, something like, have you ever, hold on a second. Oh, SJ says, I had the same problem. Once I heard action, I forgot my lines. You know, SJ, I'm hoping that doesn't happen to me either. It's like, you know it, it's in there. Now you got to pull it out, and then you have to make it believable.
I feel like it's
I've
a
been
rite of
literally,
passage.
one more time. I'm so sorry.
I feel like it's a rite of passage to forget your lines.
You know, and I'm sure everyone, you know, most directors will understand that. If it's one thing that I've found in the world of indie horror is that everyone cares, which is a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I've also heard, you know, some tales that weren't so good, but I've been privileged, and definitely AfroStar Films is like my first love. So,
After is amazing.
oh,
Sorority
most
days was
definitely.
so freaking fun. It was so out of my norm too.
You know, that was something I wondered myself because there's like so many actresses on there. Some that are like, this is no big deal. It's a walk in the park for me. And then there's probably some that are like, oh, this is a little out of my comfort zone. Now, obviously, on your first film, did you feel like that was out of your, you know, comfort zone? Or maybe not
Um,
just from like, this is the first time I've ever done it kind of thing, but the character itself.
I feel like the character was actually pretty perfect for me. So I had to make like a demon sound, and I'm like, what the hell is that? So I was just thinking of my death metal bands and how they growl, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna try that. So and it worked out okay. I think it sounded kind of what they were going for with the other ones.
Now, what exactly was your character? I don't think I asked. So sorry.
So I'm just a demon in there.
Ah, that makes total sense when you said growl because that's the first thing that hit my head. But then again, I'm demented.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I'm like, how do I make that sound? Because it's such a distinct one. And so I just thought about all the death metal bands to listen to. I'm like, well, I think they kind of sound like a demon. So I'm just gonna growl. So
I
I
absolutely
knew
love
it.
it. There's really no rhyme or reason to that sound. And so many movies that we see that demons are being portrayed, they always do like this, like crazy, almost like a voiceover kind of thing, to make it sound even darker. So that's really cool. I'm
Yeah,
actually excited to see it. This will be very
it's
good.
great. So I just saw that they got selected for a film festival.
Oh,
It's in
nice.
Chicago. So I definitely want to go see it. I just cannot wait to see it all put together. It's gonna be amazing. I went
Oh, at
from
this
that.
point, you almost have to. You know what I
Oh
mean? It's
yeah,
like you put the
I'm
time in.
invested. And so I went from that role to split screen, where I'm a YouTube blogger trying to hunt down a killer. So I'm like, and then my stuff's just been kind of everywhere. Yeah, that's it. The Illinois Valley Murder Tapes is mine. That's the one I'm in.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Right on.
It was so exciting.
Did that one feel kind of natural to you?
Um, I was really anxious for it because that was my main lead. Like I was the main person, and I was just nervous. I got more comfortable as I went.
Ah,
So
gotcha.
I'm glad that the crew was so amazing to work with. And they gave me a lot of pointers too. So
Oh,
those are the
again,
ones that had to hide
super
behind the tree.
helpful. Gotcha. Because I mean, there's been um some films, you know, involving the internet. So everybody's on YouTube. So how did you kind of prepare for that?
What do you mean? What do you mean by prepare for it? Like get into the
Uh,
right headspace for it?
the headspace. Yeah, I'm always interested in how everyone's process. Like, how do they get into that character?
YouTube. I was looking. Oh God, if people could see my search history, I'm probably flagged already by the government. But I
That
was
makes
just
two of
looking
us.
up. Yeah, I was
No
looking up
worries on
just
that one.
different. I'm trying to figure out how to word it without giving anything away. I
Well,
was
yeah,
trying
you
to
don't
look
want to
up
do
how
that.
other people act, so I can
Oh,
get some type of ideal and compare, and so I can learn the different behaviors, so I could be a different character. So once I figured out who my character was, I tried to impersonate that. If that
SJ
makes
says,
sense.
ha ha ha, we all probably are.
Oh yeah,
Flagged, that is.
yeah, especially me.
Yeah, because I don't know. That almost sounds like it would be really kind of fun to do.
It was
I
a
don't know. For
blast.
me, I've just always dreamt of doing characters. I mean, I'm 6'2". I'm a bigger guy, stocky. Still in my prime, I guess. Um, Always kind of saw myself as like more villain types, whether it be like creature or I mean, it could be a crime drama. It doesn't matter. Oh, if I ever did a mob movie, that would just be amazeballs. I could do that in my sleep. But I couldn't imagine being on the other side. The one that's the heroine. So
Yeah,
that shows range. That's good.
it was
Like you're
definitely
doing
different for
different
me
things.
because I did that, and I was basically the I was the good one in that one. So I went from being evil to good.
What a
And just,
dichotomy.
yeah, and it was so fast too because they were all so within a few months of each other. And then after that, I went to I was like a 1950s person, just a random chick in the background. So I had to be all
Oh,
frilly
was that
and
they came back from somewhere?
yeah,
Nice. All right.
yeah.
Yeah. I kind of felt like, I mean, I wasn't able to. I actually wanted to, unfortunately, but in the back of my head, I was still trying to think like I need a wig or something.
I should have wore a wig. I didn't think about it. Most people like the red hair, so I forget about my
Ah,
wigs because I like the cosplay. So I have a couple of them.
nice. Now that was that black and white or was it in color?
Yeah, that one was black and white.
Nice. Ah, I
I
can't
didn't
wait to
know it was
see
that
that.
being black and white, but it was. It was pretty cool looking too. I got to see it at the premiere, so that was nice.
Hell yeah. So did it just kind of like something came up next?
So after split screen, um, I just looked for like casting calls on Facebook groups, and I found that one, so I was extra for that. And
Hmm.
then when I saw something pop up for Swarty Bays, I reached out about that as well. Oh, I can't. I'm so glad they took a gamble on me because that was fun. I went back to being a villain again.
Yep. And now you're going to be doing the full feature, right?
Yeah, I'm so excited. We're actually filming on my birthday, so
Oh, geez.
oh yeah.
Hide the liquor.
uh
I could not imagine trying to
it's been
film
a roller
with a
coaster. I went from
hangover.
like good, bad, drama, 50s. I did American Criminals, and I was in the background in like a dance scene, and that was way out of my comfort zone. I am not a dancer. I got three left
I was
feet.
going to
It's
say, did you
bad.
have to dance?
Yeah, it was bad. I hope nobody finds me in there. It was flapper dancing. It was oh,
Oh,
that was
geez.
not good. You could put me in a mosh pit and let me headbang, but that's about the most I can do. And even that I
I
got wrong. I
mean,
pulled a muscle in my neck. So
oh my goodness. That's unfortunate, but that's dedication.
yeah,
Um, I could do some like old time type stuff as far as dancing goes. Definitely proficient at the slow dance.
slow
Most of the time, I'm just
dance.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's about the extent there. Um,
If I had a little bit of liquor, then I could dance, or at least I think I can.
I mean, everybody saw that episode of Wednesday, right?
Oh, I love that. I know it's controversial, but I love it.
What was controversial about it? Have you ever
So
been
many
to a goth
people
club
are
or a goth
complaining
night?
about Wednesday, is what I meant, and I love it.
Oh, for sure. And hopefully the second season comes sometime soon. That would be
I would
awesome.
just, I would love a role like a Tim Burton role.
Oh man. Just to even shake the guy's hand would like make my millennium.
Yeah.
Okay. Such a brilliant guy. SJ says party.
Yeah.
Austin says yes, that scene was iconic for
Yes.
real. But you know
I
what
try to
though?
learn
I
that dance so much.
Well, and I broke it down like this because, when I was in my 20 somethings, I used to frequent the goth clubs, and it was definitely kind of paying an homage to how goth people dance because it's definitely not the typical hip hop booty shaking, whatever the fuck we call it this day and age. It's like you're ethereal and you're constantly reaching out to something that is not there.
So fun. So fun.
Well, I always said this, especially being a purveyor of the rhythm as a drummer. I just kind of have, however music hits me, I feel the rhythm instantly. So naturally, my movements are going to be like, beat oriented.
Okay.
So I actually dug it. I loved it, even though that I know it was kind of like a spoof because, it's Wednesday and we've never seen
Yeah.
her dance before.
I imagine that's how she would.
Right.
I can see it.
Ah, so SJ says, how do you prepare for a role?
So I print my stuff out, I highlight it, and then I try to do it kind of like flashcards. I take on
Ah,
2 roles and I highlight my role in one color, the person I'm talking to in another color, and then I videotape myself so that way
ah,
I can see if I'm using the right type of tones, what my facial expressions look like. And when I do the other person's role, I try to change my voice as well so that way I can really prepare. And then I just do it over and over. I do it with my paper, and then I try to do it without, and then I just keep doing it until I don't need any help anymore.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I either
that's
make
kind of how,
flashcards or I do recordings.
I feel you on that. I find that to be an invaluable tool, especially the videotaping part, because, sometimes for roles, you have to send in, you speaking the lines on a video.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like do it sporadically, especially with speaking. I've done that a lot for Death Bike coming up, and I just find it because you're seeing it, you're practicing it, the tone, and you go back. I don't know about you, but I go back, I look at it, and I go, what can I do better? Like, what could I add to this to make it pop even more? I mean, no
I'm
one's
still a
perfect.
baby actor, so I'm still learning to accept myself on a camera.
Me too. I'm like, sometimes, I'll go back, I'll look at it and go, what the fuck were you thinking? It's
Yeah.
like, you could have done this, you could have done that. But I think that's kind of every actor, actress's thing, is like, we're our own worst enemy. Some people are just really comfortable with it. So it's really cool
Yep.
that that's kind of your process. Excellent
And
question.
it also depends on like what my character is. So if I have somebody who's anxious, I will think about something that really upsets me
Mhm.
to make myself anxious, which probably isn't smart, but it works. So I had one scene in Sorority Babes where I'm like really anxious and hyperventilating, and it looked really good on camera because I actually got myself worked up for it. So it wasn't
Ah,
happening. I was wigging out. I was like, oh God,
no,
I'm
that's
nervous.
shoot. I mean, when you amplify that anxiety, I think sometimes it can really come off even better. I would think that the same would go for like a death scene. You know,
Yeah. That I YouTube a few of those. How to dramatically die, how to naturally die.
YouTube is a kind of a cornucopia
Yeah, it's
of
something.
information. It's like something breaks in your house that you literally have no idea where to start. You can go to YouTube
Yep,
and find a how-to kind of thing. But that's cool that
yep.
that's out there. I'll have to keep that in my back pocket.
And I've started rewatching some of my favorite horror movies to actually watch the other actors in it now instead of just the slasher. So I could try to like see how they act and see if I can learn it.
And that's one thing that I find myself, I've been doing quite a bit, because I always compare older films, older classics to stuff that's coming out today. And you can kind of see who really has like a good facial expression, their concept of how, since they're in a kill scene, how they're dying. And, I mean, shoot, there's so much there that I think you can pull from. So that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it helps
Because
too when you have people on the cast that really help you as well, like constructive
yeah,
criticism. So
no, I absolutely agree with that. And that's, I mean, is that something that's kind of easy for you? Because some people don't like constructive criticism. Did you find that a challenge or did you welcome it?
I actually took it as a challenge. And so if they wanted something done a little better, I'm like, well, now I want to do two times better just because I think you're implying I can't do it better. So I take it as a challenge to do better, and then I try to exceed what even they want. So, like,
Right on.
I
I
had to
actually,
scream in a movie, and they wanted a fearful scream.
mhm.
So I tried to just block everything out, went into the back of my head, and just tried to pretend like I was one of the scream queens in all the movies I love, and I just let out an ear piercing scream, which was awesome.
Hey, I mean, if it worked, I'd say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Um, so, and in that event, did they say like, wow, that seemed real legit?
Yeah, I was worried I wasn't going to scream loud enough because I always self doubt. And the person that was in front of me, she goes, "My eardrums." I'm like, "Yes, that means I did it." It's pretty great. Sorry, Lynn. Sorry, Anne.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've always measured this idea of what a scream queen is. Because who laid the foundation? Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes,
That's just
absolutely.
me. I mean, I literally just watched this. I think about 3 or 4 days ago again because I watch it constantly. Periodically, I run through all the good stuff, and from that very first one, she is just so damn believable.
She's just amazing in everything. Her scream.
Yeah.
So I tried to mimic, which the horror fans are going to hate me here. Have
Dun,
you heard of
dun,
Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan?
dun.
Where she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so old." I'm like, that's what I gotta mimic. Just look of terror on her face.
Well, I
Like,
mean, in the Blumhouse franchise, how old was she there? And she was still getting it.
yeah, yeah. She's my dream.
Mm, 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 mm. So, for all you would be, wanting to be or idolizing screen queens out there in the Morgrot universe, check the originals out. And I don't mean the show, I'm saying the original screen queens that we go by and measure because you could learn something from it. And as actors and stuff, it's like, you know, we have so much that we could be checking out from role to role and where we can kind of like absorb some of these skills because I don't know. Screaming to me is kind of like, I don't know how y'all do it.
We're females.
Like when
Okay.
I'm screaming at somebody myself, I always end up sounding like Tony fucking Soprano from The Sopranos. When he's
So
like really
my
fucking
drill
mad.
sergeant called me Mighty Mouse when I tried to scream. Took a little bit of ego hit for a little bit.
But because I know I'm going to have to probably do some death scenes here and there in the future, so I'm like trying to get into where what would be believable. So,
Definitely gotta go
believe it
into
or
a
not,
different
there's
headspace.
yeah, there's some good actors to watch in different films to kind of draw that. SJ here says Blumhouse is remaking Christine.
That'll be nice.
I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming at all because lately the chatter has been that Blumhouse is going to work with James Wan in order to do a new Friday the 13th.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Could you imagine?
That would be awesome. I want to see
But then,
that.
but then again, though, all the great fan films that have been made recently and are continuing to make. You know what I mean? Where do they go? It's like it better be really original. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. SJ says that it's going to be a TV
I think
series. Interesting.
I don't know
Okay.
how I feel
All
about that.
right. Well, I think this is a good point for us to go ahead and show the trailer for Split Screen because I would
Keep
like
in
to
mind, it's
see
my first
everybody.
speaking role.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick look at that. So sorry for the process.
I can't see
That
myself on it.
You're so funny.
It's just so weird.
You know, and don't worry, that's not the first time I've heard an actor say that. Here we go.
Can't do it.
My name is Daniel Sanchez, and this broadcast is being recorded in order to shed light on a recent discovery of media that came into my possession. So, just to be clear, what you're about to see is sensitive. And I ask that you retain that all for what it is. Because after personally seeing what was on these tapes, I have no doubt that I'm doing the right thing by sharing this.
All right.
Okay.
So just from that little tidbit right there, it's got me interested. Shit.
It was so
I want to
fun.
know what the who is what.
It's on Tubi too, so that's exciting. Tubi, Blu-ray, and YouTube. Kings of Terror or
Ah,
Kings of Horror. Yeah.
okay, and that's available right now.
Yep, that one's available right now.
You heard it right here, Morgrot Universe. If you want to see Samantha in her big first lead role, check this movie out. It's free. There is no excuse.
Yeah.
None. Check it out. Please do. Because, I mean, indie horror can only happen through the collective, the fans. It's really what drives to make great filmmaking. And I mean, shit, you saw right there. I know I'm excited.
It's definitely made from passion.
You know, and that's one of the things that kind of made me fall in love with the industry as a whole is the passion that's involved. Like everyone is like, we really want to make the best production that we can. Is that kind of how you feel from like set to set?
Yeah, it's really amazing to see because you can just tell that their whole heart is in this. They want to make the best movie they can. They want to give it their all, and we love what we do and we have fun doing it. And unlike Hollywood, we really rely on other people on how they feel about our movies. That gives us our drive to keep going. Because we don't get paid like Hollywood for these. There's no way.
Yeah.
So we go off of our passions for it and making others happy too.
Absolutely. It's like the other day, I was asked to do some drum recordings for someone's upcoming album. I'm like, sure. They're like, so we're not rich by any means. So like, what would you charge? And I told him, it's like, we'd be insulting you. I'm like, for me, it's not about how much I can get out of you to do it. It's the fact that I want to do it. I believe in it. And it's the same with acting, especially for me, because I'm like, I'm just this guy, who loves horror, and I want to do some fun stuff. So
Yeah.
the money is not always, I mean, obviously with travel and shit like that, it's going to come up, it's a bill just like any other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's fair is fair, but it's like, we don't really focus on that. And I agree with you. I think Hollywood is definitely hyper focused
Yeah.
on
And ours
the
is more
money.
of our love for horror. So
I would think that would even kind of elevate the great feeling of, hey, for one night only, we're going to, show the film that, that you did, and actually get to see it on a big screen. I think that is more of like, that was so cool. I don't care that it's not playing everywhere, but I got to see it. I got to be there.
yeah, it's
You
so
know what I
exciting.
mean?
Even though I can't watch it, but yeah.
Well, you said you were at a did you have a premiere yet for anything that you were
Not
able to
yet.
go see?
Oh, so I got to see the premiere for They Came Back for Somewhere, and it's just me personally. I feel so awkward seeing myself on the screen. I love acting and doing it, and I love seeing my name and just the connections we're making and the stuff we're building. It's just so awkward to see myself on there. I'm like, no, I could have did that better. I could have did that better. So
And that like I said, that's the mark of a true artist. The term artist is transcendent upon all entertainment, in my opinion. So an actor, actress is an artist, because it's like you're critiquing how you did, what you could have done, or maybe what you could bring to a future role. So I don't see anything wrong with that. I think for some people, it's like, yeah, I'm so critical of myself. I ruined the experience for myself, actually seeing what I did or hearing what
yeah,
I did or whatever. But it's everything is a learning experience,
especially when you're just starting out. So I think once I start
Yeah.
acting more and getting more roles, maybe I'll get more comfortable with it.
Well, for sure. Is there, any type of roles, not that you've actually like looked into yet, but anything that you could see yourself doing in the future?
There's a few I really want to do, and I actually just wrote my own just in case I can't find the role, I can make it. So I made a little short
Ah,
film. I wrote one, and I'm working with somebody right now to try to get it filmed so I can finally be a vampire.
you
Wants to be a
know,
vampire.
hell yeah. Nothing wrong with that. That was definitely one that when I was a kid, I idolized Christopher Lee, who I still to this day feel was the best Dracula that there ever was. Nothing against Gary Oldman. I'm sorry, folks. But, Christopher Lee back in, 58, early 60s, mid 60s, into the 70s, I still put everyone who plays a version of Dracula up against him. So that's definitely a passion for me as well. Hell, I'd love to do a werewolf. I wouldn't mind that.
That's the other one I was thinking, like a werewolf or a gargoyle. I want to be something supernatural.
I feel you. I feel you, SJ. I totally get it. Bella. Yeah, he had the look. He had the voice. And when I was a kid and I saw the black and white 1932 film, I did love it. I did. The only thing I wish we could have seen was Bella with fangs. That would have probably put him over the top. Which
And I
is why I'm
ordered my
just.
things already.
Did you really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool. Who'd you go through?
I want things anyway. So scarecrow, they're basic, but
Oh, right on. Sweet. Well, that'll be really cool to see.
I really want to do that.
Any other type roles that you'd like to maybe try to go for in the future?
So there's a few. I want to do a vampire, something like supernatural, And I think it'd be fun to do a superhero. So I'm talking to somebody about possibly doing that.
A
And the other
superhero.
one that I applied for one, I don't know if I'll get, but it would be freaking awesome. It's a killer Barbie. So
Oh,
we'll see how that goes. I don't know how it's gonna work out for me. I'm a baby actor with like no experience, but those roles will be so fun.
well,
Like I said, I'm all over the place. So
well, it shows versatility. And a lot of what you've done so far, has been versatile. So you won't be like a typecast, kind of
yeah,
person. So I don't know. The way I look at it is if you keep, stick to the grind and keep trying to break through, that's the way to do it. I never thought it would be possible for me either because I'm like just this guy.
I think that's
you
another
know?
thing that I love so much is because people are so accepting. Like I never would have dreamed I could have been in one movie, and I've been in five now. It's just insane.
You see, it's like holy shit. Something so new, and it's like you've dreamed about it for most of your life or whatever, and it's like now you're doing it.
I know. So it's
SJ says, "What about zombie?"
So I would love to be a zombie. I know how to do the makeup. I've been practicing myself, and I'm great at it. But I cannot get that zombie snarl to save my life. So as soon as I get that down, I'll be unstoppable. Zombie would be cool.
Again, there is a total wealth of films to draw from.
Yeah.
And at least we're not doing the whole brains thing. Brains.
I mean, that I might be able to do. So.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge, huge fan of Return of the Living Dead. That whole series was fantastic. But with like, what was it? The Walking Dead. But my real favorite series, though, was the one that they had on Sci-Fi, Z Nation. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So you got two different styles there. The one that's a little bit more raw, and then Z Nation, which was just more. I mean, I don't know which one was more believable.
I want bloodied up. I want to be a bloodied up zombie.
I'm always saying that. When I was on the set of Attack of the Corn Zombies, and it came time for the blood, I said, the more blood, the better.
Oh, I wanted to be in that one so bad. I found out too late about it. That was
I'm jazzed to return because my zombie didn't get killed, so right. Hey, what's up, Sean? Good to see you, brother. So it's shameless plug time. Anything that you want to let the folks know where to find you, Facebook, Instagram, all the socials, all that stuff, and any upcoming projects.
Don't judge my usernames here. So it's 50 Shades of Little on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Well, it's Sammy Morningstar on Facebook, but everything else is 50 Shades of Little. So no judgment.
If you don't mind me asking, what is all that?
How rated is this channel? So, I was obsessed with 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, okay. I mean, I kind of figured.
Fill in the blanks with Little and.
Gotcha. All right. I've seen so much worse.
Yeah, true.
Believe me.
So, future projects. We got the feature for Night of the Dead Sorority Babes, and I'm also going to be in the Baton Rouge Serial Killer by Bishop Stevens. So that's going to be really, really entertaining. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And there's a couple other that are still kind of up in the air, so I don't know about them yet. So I'm not going to jinx it by saying it. But I have a few more planned.
The Baton Rouge one looks really cool too. I love the concept.
So I got actually 2 scenes in that, so I'm pretty excited. I've been practicing in my room. So
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
It's like when we were back in school, practicing in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
There's nothing better to get a better perspective on how you're going to do something than if you do that. No matter how silly, it may seem to some folks, but you got your phone, there's a camera in there and there's video, so fucking do it. I've been doing it for
I'll start
a
somewhere.
month and a half now.
Yeah. I started actually last April. So coming
Mm,
up on a year now that I've been trying to get into this.
awesome. Well,
It's my birthday present then too.
right. Uh, So we all look forward to seeing your career grow, and very excited for your journey. What kind of message would you like to leave with everybody that is tuned in tonight, whether they're fans or aspiring actresses themselves?
It's gonna sound cliche, but anything is actually possible if you really want it. And you just have to go for it. Because there's been so many times I'm like, I can't do that. But I submit an audition anyway. I reach out anyway. And now I'm developing a career out of it. So it is possible.
Absolutely. And I think that is the one thing that keeps people from trying to do some of the things they want to do. And I felt that way myself. I was like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to do this. But like you, just sticking to the Facebook groups and different posts that come across. And it's like, you just don't know.
And
Your
if one
time
door
could be
shuts,
coming.
another one might open. Because I've had plenty of rejections, but I've also been accepted too. So, I mean, just gotta keep trying.
I almost kind of feel like for every rejection that just makes you stronger. Would you say?
Yeah, I think so. Because it gives me more drive. Like, well, I'm not gonna get rejected again. So I'm gonna try extra hard.
Hell yeah. Well, keep doing what you're doing, and we're looking forward, obviously, to seeing the Night of the Dead Sorority Babes when that gets done. So
I
good
should
luck
be
on the
there.
shoot. And for everybody out there in More Grind Universe, you heard just a little bit ago, you can catch Split Screen on Tubi. And I think you said YouTube as well.
Blu-ray and YouTube. Yep, under the Kings of War.
There you go. You know where to go. All right. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And for everybody that tuned in tonight, you guys have been awesome. Some people I haven't seen in a while, so thank you. Appreciate that. And don't forget, tomorrow night, we got Screen Queen Mel Heflin showing up to the underground. So get ready for that double shot to get poured. If you haven't already poured yourself one, have one, God damn it. And the most important thing you must always remember, don't give up, never surrender, and always stay heavy.